rain falls down in a steady stream. If it don't stop now, it'll wash us away. Wanna drive home with the sun in my face, yet the rain falls down. The rain follows me. Led astray, I guess I don't know where I'm going. Is it okay? Can we just live within the moment? Stay with me. Oh God, I wanna start running. Lose your case. Can we hold up until this rain ends? Rain falls down in a steady stream. If it don't stop now, it'll wash us away. Wanna drive home with the sun in my face, yet the rain falls down. The rain follows me. It follows me. It follows me.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Touchline Talk with your boy LNobbins. That was a different intro song today. That was the latest release by Go for Gold, the band that I go to for my intro music. That's Rain. It's very nice. I mean, I will make it into an official intro thing. I just wanted to play it for the first time because I quite like the song. How are we all doing today? Happy Eid. If you celebrate it, big up to you. Big up to your mothers. Big up to your Eid mothers as well. It's the cup final on Sunday, so of course it would be remiss to not discuss that in anticipation of the game on Sunday before it is Friday. It's only 2 days away, so I imagine the key focus of today's show will be that. What sort of team would we like to see? What team do we think we will see? How would we like to play? How might we think Arsenal might play? Can we gather anything from the game against Real Madrid recently, and that sort of thing, and so on and so on and so forth. But this is going to be a very laid back, chilled out stream today. I think I don't really have anything planned. It's just going to be good vibes, hopefully, and the Q&A situation. So leave a like on the video as you're coming in. It's free. Help support the channel. And how are we all doing today? Sorry I was late. Yes, apologies. That's my bad. Good afternoon to you, Thunder Road. Vamos, exactly. Late pins, yes. It's a very nice song, isn't it, Nick? Yeah, that's called Rain. That's the latest release by Go for Gold, the band I use for my things. Good afternoon, lads. Happy Eid to those who celebrate. Yes, Natanda, happy Eid. You're doing splendid. Happy Eid, lovely stuff. Trafford is starter. Yeah, of course he is. I'm amazed that something had been made out of that situation because it was so. Of course he was going to start. There wasn't even a debate. Like I remember, quite a viral tweet went around when like the League Cup account put out a photo, and it was like the two cup goalkeepers, and they were like, "Why is Trafford there?" Because like Donnarumm's going to play, and he wasn't a City fan, and you could tell because outside of I think one season in 2019 maybe, City have always used their cup goalkeepers in the cup final under Guardiola. So I don't really know why that was made such a big deal out of it. It was very obvious to anyone who's followed anything City this season that Trafford was going to be starting. Yes. Hello to you, ready? Take off your shoes, hit the thumbs up, says Thunder Road, but don't take your socks off. Yeah, let's not go that far. We're not that sort of degenerate channel over here. Listen to the Nobbot, guys. Leave a like on the video. Hello, Spartacus. How are you, mate? Yeah, interesting debate this week. Michael says, let's go win this thing. Definitely. Do you think we'll play a back five? Nah. Pep's used the back five in two scenarios this season. The first scenario is where it's like the final 5 to 10 minutes of a game and we are leading by 1 goal. And then the other scenario is when we were down to 10 men and we were getting absolutely shafted on the counter-attack and we don't want to make it a 5-0 battering. So I'd be very surprised if we did opt to play a back five. But hey, I also said I'd be very surprised if we play a front two this season. And lo and behold, even though Pep didn't want to do it, we ended up doing it. So never say never. Never say never, absolutely. This is Trafford's world, says Ready. We'll see, Spartacus. Let's see if it happens first of all. Hello, Ryjack. How are you? No socks off it. I'll ban everyone not wearing socks. Explode Introvert says, do you think Madrid robbed us with the ref's help? No. He was onside and it was a red card. There's nothing else to say about that, I'm afraid. It was definitely onside and it's definitely a red card by Bernardo. It's probably just instinct that's happened there. I'm not trying to justify it. It's still a massive error by him, but I will say that I think too much has probably been made of it because we were 3-0 down anyway. I know we started those first 20 minutes well, but game state exists. I don't think, even if Bernardo didn't get sent off, I don't think we're going to actually come back from that game regardless. So it's an instinct thing, and he shouldn't have done it, obviously, but and it's definitely a red card. I did see some people trying to suggest that, like, the refs robbed us, and they're just like, isn't that what we were crying about Arsenal fans doing for seasons upon seasons? And now are we the Arsenal now? Are we the Arsenals? No, let's not do that. Again, he was clearly onside. It was clearly a red card defence. There's not really much else to dissect about that. Trafford in no goals from set pieces this weekend, says. I will say one thing. We'll get into the team, of course, and all that stuff. But I do. Here I'm going to go on. I've spoken about this before. I'm going to go on a bit of like a semi-tangent / rant about Trafford for a second here, and I do want to reiterate my initial thoughts at the start of the season that I didn't even want Trafford at City necessarily. I was dubious about whether he would be able to make the step up. I will say I have amended and revised my approach on that, and I've changed my mind because the performances have illustrated to me that he absolutely has made that step up, and he absolutely is ready to make that step up. So there you go. I have changed my mind on the ability of Trafford because, in fairness, my starting point was a bit sticky because I didn't properly scout him, because I was going to scout him and I started the scouting of him, and then we signed Donnarumma, and it was, I'm not going to bother scouting a second choice goalkeeper who probably won't be here. But just on Trav, I just wanted to preface that just because I know there are some funny people out there who have it in their head that I don't know, that I've been a big Trafford guy since day number one, and that's just not the case. However, on Trafford, it's very annoying, I think, the whole conversation around Trafford, because basically I think it's sort of a pushback against the people who are so desperate. And I understand why you would be desperate. But they're so desperate for Donnarumma to be a success at City. And I'm not saying this is everyone, but for these people, this idea of like the desperation around Donnarumma success is also heavily linked with the desperation to also not want Trafford to be good enough right now. So, for example, if Trafford doesn't have a flawless, perfect game, he's getting called out left, right and centre. And I wonder if that's a response to the overprotectionism of their Donnarumma stance. Because I can't remember what game it was. I think it was the second leg against Newcastle. You know, and that's in the second half at home where we were winning 5-0 or something. And we just started to opt to not really play, and we just started to punt it long because who cares, we were 5-0 up and we didn't really care at that point. And then the conversation was, I was told that Trafford's a better ball-playing goalkeeper. What's going on here? And it's this unfair lens to view things from, because there's no context to taken into consideration. So again, it's not a fair starting point for him, because they're not even looking at the context of it, of the fact that we're 5-0 up. But what they're also wanting to do is they want to. So not only do they want this goalkeeper to be perfect, which is never going to happen, but they also want to view them through the same lens and try to check them against the same standards. Now, this is one of the rarer instances where double standards is valid, because they should not be held to the same standards, by the way. Because on one hand, you have a goalkeeper who is from the academy, who has 1 season of top flight experience. For Burnley, got relegated, and is not playing consistently, and is 3 years the junior of the other competition. So there should not be the same holding. So that's what we have over here. So inexperienced, young, not playing consistently, so isn't able to develop consistent relationships, and also is nowhere near their ceiling. Whatever you think of Trafford, whether you think he's good enough now or not, and as I say, I was someone who didn't think he would be good enough, but now I do think he probably is, we can all surely agree, whatever parameter you're viewing it from, we can surely all agree this is a goalkeeper who does have a very high ceiling and is nowhere near close to realising their potential and their ceiling. So that's what we have over here. On the other side, we have a goalkeeper who is one of, if not the highest paid goalkeepers in the world. We have a goalkeeper who is not from the academy, so they have 0 credit in the bank. We have a goalkeeper who is being described as the best goalkeeper in the world, a goalkeeper who is described as someone designed for the big Champions League nights. We have someone who has 11 seasons now at the top flight and is playing consistently week in, week out, so is able to develop those relationships with his back four and just his team generally. And we have someone who should be able to hit the ground running now. And they should be at the level now. And realistically, there's not going to be that much of a... There's not going to be that much more that is going to be tapped into RE ceiling. Now, maybe he can get better, absolutely. But relative to the other option, there is this false dichotomy of trying to equate the two RE comparison, and it's just not fair. For all those reasons I've listed, we shouldn't expect Trafford to be anywhere near Donnarumma based on all of those things I've just outlined there, and yet the disparity between the two RE shot stopping anyway this season hasn't actually been that far. So it just frustrates me when you see these fans online and they want to over assess everything, and they aren't really giving in, and they aren't really assessing the context of what Trafford is now and what he could become. It's just, I'm only viewing it through what I see and ignoring everything else, ignoring all the surrounding context, which is a bit silly to do. So that's my little rant about the Trafford situation and the over-analysis. Because let's say, like, if Trafford makes a mistake on Sunday, let me tell you right now, my counter to that is going to be, he's like 23, 24 years old, he has 1 season in the top flight, he hasn't played consistently this season. Now, let's see what happens if you play him consistently in the season, and then we'll have the conversation. The over-analysis of one versus the over-protection of another has been very odd this season. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, because, again, let's fairly critique these players. If you want to say that one is absolutely world-class and is best in class and is made for the big nights, etc., then hold them up to that standard. Cams, thank you so much for grading your membership. I'll get to that in a second. Versus, if the argument is this goalkeeper isn't ready and they aren't good enough, then hold them to that standard as well. Just like make sure that we're being consistent with our takes. So we can't hold Trafford up to the standard of a world-class, best-in-class goalkeeper. And at the same time, we can't hold an allegedly world-class, best-in-class goalkeeper to the standards of someone who needs to bed in and needs some time and should have their hand held. Nah. So those are my thoughts on that situation. So hopefully he has a good game. I fear, though, that if he doesn't have a flawless game, then there's going to be a mass witch hunt and scapegoating and this unfair standardization of what he is. That's not the correct word at all, but you know what I mean. Cams, thank you so much for upgrading. Big up. You can now enjoy my most recent members only video, which is for Fnatic Ultras and above. It's just a cheeky little games room tour, but hopefully you enjoy it. And we've had this player before. Your random footballer is Nuno Espirito Santo, or NES as a shorthand initialism. Yes, NES. Because that's an initialism, not an acronym, guys. Two different things. Yeah? An acronym would be NES. Like SNES. But there we go. So, that is... that's the state of play. I just want to get that little thing out of the way, just to address that. I think Traff will go to Bayern, says Alex. Neuer is old and has a good relationship with company. If that happens, that'd be an amazing move for him. Amazing move for him. Yeah, that was crazy, Strawberry Cheesecake. That was so funny. Leave tactics aside. Tell us what you really feel about the final. I don't know if I can disconnect the two. I don't know if I... Hello, Punch Bicycle. How are you? Good evening to you, sub. No worries at all. Hope good luck with your exams. Exactly, Sachin. And even in that game, by the way, it wasn't even a bad game. He made an error, but he also made a very impressive double save in that game. He's had he's had two bad moments in his City career so far. Smaller sample size, sure. He had that one bad moment against Spurs where it was a bad decision from him, and he made that one error against Newcastle where he came out for the corner and he ended up like... it came off his chest. He just like flung it into the air. So he's only realistically made two errors that I can think of. Conversely, he's made lots of impressive saves, and he's largely he deserves a lot of credit for us even being in the League Cup final because he was so impressive against Newcastle in those two semi-final games, especially at St James's Park, which was a ground that I know we won it in the FA Cup relatively easily recently, but before then we got handed our booties to us at St James's Park earlier in the season, so that wasn't an easy game by any means. So yeah, he does deserve a lot of credit there. And again, it's interesting that people, it's because they want to dismiss him. These people, not accusing anyone here of doing it, just some people want to dismiss him because they want to be right about Donnarumma. That's what it is. And it's this weird camp, so if you are one or the other, and it shouldn't be the case. We should want all of our players to do well. It's okay to have a preference, but we shouldn't be like saying lies about players. That's just unfair. That's just unfair. Do the results this weekend go hand in hand with who wins the Premier League? Asks Nick. I don't think so. I think that in my heart of hearts, the Premier League has gone, if we're being realistic. Of course, never say never, but if we do win, what am I saying here? If we lose, then obviously we lose the Premier League. If we win, then it gives us, I'm going to say we have like a 10% chance of winning the Premier League, let's say. I reckon if we win the League Cup, I reckon it boosts us up to 15%. Let's put it that way. So I do think that if we win, it improves our chances of winning the Premier League, but I don't think that it's going to be this massive difference between us winning it and not. In the same way that I didn't think that the Semenyo and Gahey signings would be the massive difference between us winning it and not. I felt that if we don't win the league, we wouldn't have won the league anyway. If we do win the league, we would have maybe won the league anyway. Actually, maybe the Gahey won because of the Gvardiol injury, actually. So, there we go. If Salah becomes free, would you like him to join City? No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's very, very odd. That's the thing. He can become one of the most balanced goalkeepers in the world, in my opinion. It could be a thing. Yeah, and this is wrong as well. And I like to think I don't do that because I still want Donnarumma to do well, and I don't relish in him doing poorly. When he makes errors, when he made that error in the Real Madrid first leg, the first thing I didn't do was, oh, you see, guys, I told you. See, I fucking wanted to do that, mind, but that wasn't like the first tweet that I did. It was just, and here we go. Like whenever like we ever experience these errors or these dubious moments, it's just like, again, it's this desperation for people to be proven right, and it's just a bit boring. Hot take, Donnarumma should start the final. Trafford doesn't have the experience to deal with Arsenal set pieces. I'd rather have a better chance to win the cup than keeping Trafford happy. I would argue that City have a better chance of winning it if Trafford were in goal. Also, he's the cup goalkeeper, so that's just not going to happen. Yeah, thank you so much, Cams, for upgrading. Big up to you. Anyone who does want to support the channel, or maybe you're a member and you want to upgrade and go even further, then there you go. You can support me there. Comparisons off though, because Donnarumma's had the much harder fixtures. Trafford's played Newcastle and Brentford. He's played Premier League teams this season, so I don't agree. Also, like the games that Donnarumma struggled in have been not even necessarily big teams. It's everyone. It's not like he's only struggling against your Liverpools and your Arsenals. It's everyone, isn't it? That's a bad argument, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's also a very good point. Donnarumma is absolutely not better for set pieces. No, he's much worse. Set piece defending is one of his worst traits. So no. He will. I think he will be. Yes, absolutely, he will be. Biopsychology. Yeah, I think someone said earlier sunk cost fallacy. Yeah, there you go from Column. Absolutely right. I'd like to see that, EA, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Would you use the rest of the Prem season to develop players like Kasava and Shirky, aka focus less on results? Hey, if we lose the game against Arsenal, then why not? You know, because if we do that, then that is absolutely the end of the world, and you might as well proceed and do that. Absolutely, you might as well. I saw the Tonali links. Yeah. Very confused. Sorry, not confused. Dubious. I'm just dubious it'll happen. Not confused. It makes sense. They're not left out, Aaron. Respectfully, it's the opposite. And also, he gets credit for good moments which aren't even relevant. That Newcastle save in the last minute, it was going wide. People are tagging me and shit, acting like they've proven a point. It's ridiculous. It's the exact opposite, I'm afraid. The majority opinion seems to be that any little thing becomes the best thing. I can't remember what game it was. I think it was like Fulham at home, and he made the most basic save, and people are tagging me going, "You see, Nobbins, he saved us." And it's just like making a save that I'd expect, I don't know, like the bottom of the league goalkeepers to make. It isn't the reason why you sign a player like that. So it's just nah. My take on this with the Edison one is, if it was an Edison in his prime, I think that we win the title, to be honest with you. If it were Trafford this season, I think that the absolute worst case scenario is we have the same number of points. That's the absolute worst case scenario. Yeah, definitely not. He's worse. That's one of his weaknesses. Exactly, Spartacus. Yeah, exactly. Score predictions: 1-0 to City. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. But yeah, isn't that just like a preliminary squad though? Like where 1 million people have gone. Hopefully, just like doesn't play at all. That's the thing. Do you believe our panic buys or rash spending to try and save money in summer has cost us? We're not stuck with good players that aren't really world class. Panic buys or rash spending. Good players. Which players are you talking about, Dean, specifically? Let me know. Because I was quite happy with our business in the summer, to be honest. Okay, well, right. Well, this is what I mean about the overstating. Okay, first of all, it is a good save. We were 2-0 up at the time. I don't deny it was a good save. The one that Trafford did against Brighton was better. The only save that Donnarumma's made this season that I don't think Trafford would have made is the Anfield one. And the only reason he had to make that save was because of his terrible ball playing which made it so that our shot prevention was dog shit, so we conceded loads and loads of shots. Unfortunately, if we want to turn, and I do want to move on from this, but I can promise you guys, you will not be able to beat me in a Donnarumma Pro versus Con this season, because I know all the errors that have been made this season. I also know all the excellent saves that were made this season, because this is a debate close to my heart. So if you want me to tell you about all the errors that he's made, which have either cost us a goal and points, or which should have cost us goals and points, but for awful attacking, we can absolutely play that game. But I promise you, you won't win. Just an FYI. Ephemeral time, brilliant. Oh dear. Anyway, so that is the goalkeeper situation, and that's Trafford. So hopefully he doesn't go in the summer, but I fear that he ultimately will. What else do we want to see on Sunday, though? What else do we want to see? I'll tell you what I would like to see, basically. I would basically like to see what we saw against Real Madrid, in like, obviously without the man disadvantage, but I would like us to not try to fall into the trap that we did in the Real Madrid first leg, where we were clearly concerned about losing a physical battle, and it just did not ultimately work, and we absolutely shafted ourselves in the end. So I really don't want us to go down that route, because if we do try to play that way of football against Arsenal, who have Rice, and they have Zubimendi, and they have Gabriel, and they have Saliba, and they have outlets like Saka, and they have off-ball monsters like Ødegaard, I think that we will have a bad time, and they have Hincapié, and they have Timber. I think we're going to have a bad time trying to match them up physically. So ideally, I don't really want to see someone like Semenyo starting, for example. I'd be a little bit upset if he were starting instead of someone like a Doku or someone like a Shirky. I'd personally be a little bit upset if that were the case. Now, I could maybe see a world where Pep starts relatively cautiously and maybe doesn't start both Shirky and Doku, and maybe he ends up having them both on the pitch. So maybe he like takes the first half of the game chill, and then he goes more, tries to hang in, and then goes for the jugular in like in the final 30 minutes or so. I'd be very upset if that were the case, and I would much rather us try to, I'm not going to say take the game to Arsenal, but I would like us to try to play with some bravery, and I would like to see us try and play through Arsenal rather than try to out-battle them, if that makes sense. It's going to be very hard to do, because Arsenal are a very impressive pressing side, and they are a very impressive out-of-possession side as well. Obviously, having no Gvardiol is going to be a massive issue for us. Having no Guéhi is going to be a massive issue for us as well. So are we even going to play like that? I actually don't know, because it's probably going to have to be Kusanov at left centre-back, isn't it? So maybe you could make the argument that if you're almost definitely going to have Kusanov at left centre-back, do you just rely on the diagonal pings that we know he's able to do? I'd like us to try to not do that, but maybe we just don't have the centre-backs to do that, given the injury, given the logistical issues with playing Guéhi, because we actually can't. So I don't know. It's going to be a very tricky balancing act, isn't it? What do you guys think? What would you prefer? Do you think that we start cautiously, i.e. perhaps play something, like the Anfield setup, which actually did work in fairness at the start, but that's because Liverpool are a bit stinky. But do you think that maybe we should start with something like we did at Anfield, where we had Marmoush and Haaland up top, and we had Semenyo's out of possession work to dominate that first half, it all went to shit in the second half. But that's how we started in the first half, and we did play the better football in that half. Or would you rather we just try to ask them questions as early as possible, which would involve playing Doku and Shirky and wouldn't involve... I don't think you could have Doku, Shirky, Marmoush, Semenyo all on the pitch at the same time. That seems a little bit convoluted, because Haaland will start as well, won't he? So I don't think you can have all those players on the pitch at the same time. You couldn't, could you? So you are going to have to make a choice. I would like to see Shirky and Doku play, personally. I would like to see the Real Madrid second leg. Maybe O'Reilly instead of Reinders. Maybe O'Reilly instead of Reinders. And maybe sacrifice one player, just have a bit more solidity. Because we're starting 0-0, at least. So, you get what I mean. So that's the thing. What are you guys saying, though? What are we saying? Nunes says, sorry, I was catching up on the chat here. Not a fan of Viana. He's made signings fans would like to see. Yeah, I've not been impressed with Viana as of yet. Personally. I probably would, yes. Thinking about the long term, yes, I personally would. I'd like to see Ainori, Nico, and Shirky. Our chance to win a coin to Opta is pretty bad. It doesn't surprise me if we aren't... Is that the cup final or the league? Let me know, Footy Enjoyer. Sorry, what's that in reference to? Let me know what that's in reference to. They'll press man-to-man, so need to field players who can bypass that style. So, Sachin, I hope we do. I absolutely do hope we do. I'd start Nico over Rodri for this game, but Pep won't. If Pep doesn't start Shirky, then we're defo getting beat, says Twister. No excuse to not start Shirky, says Kobe. Have you always thought about Semenyo's profile argument you've used recently to explain Madrid games, or is it only valid since we started playing poorly? I think I said in my analysis video that one of the key reasons why we signed him is probably because of the out of possession work, so I think that is a thing. Or just make sure we're not spamming, though, please. I can see you've put that message 5 times now. Do not do that. Thank you very much. It would be cinema if we beat them 1-0 with a Diaz set-piece goal. Yeah, absolutely. I've been hearing rumours of Stone starting and Kusanov at right-back. If that happens, then I don't know, man. Because this is going to be a drink... In theory, this is going to be a drinking game watch-along, yeah? And yeah, I might have to go get the second bottle of Fireball whiskey at that point if I see Kusanov at right-back again. I will say he had a good first half at the Emirates, in fairness to him. He did have a good first half. There was one moment where Trossard spun him, but I didn't necessarily have a problem with him there, because that was clearly Pep clearly went there, because I think if memory serves, I can't remember, that was like the third game in 7 days, and we played the same starting 11 every single time, I think, and our players were clearly shattered, and we were going to the Emirates. So the idea was to just draw the game. So I didn't mind the fact that we were just defensive merchants that day. I didn't mind that. And okay, Arteta made us more defensive than we would have wanted to be, but we did go there to play defensive football, in fairness. And that's not a problem in a vacuum. I do distinctly remember when doing an analysis video on that, in my post-match analysis video, I do remember bringing up a chart, and we generated 0 expected goals down our right side, or we had 0 attacks down that right side, something like that, which makes sense, because our right side was Phil Foden at right wing back, and Kusanov at right back, or something insane. So, for that one game, I sort of half accepted it, but we surely can't see that on Sunday, because what that is telling me is we've got no desire to even contemplate giving Hincapié a question mark in the entire game. So I'd be very concerned if we did do that, personally. Very concerned. Exactly, Alex. Yes, exactly. And this is why I'm This is why I'm concerned with Kusanov starting there. This is why I want us to look into getting another right back, because it's not even about necessarily getting an upgrade on Nunes. It's about getting another option to Nunes. If Nunes isn't available, and on this channel, guys, we said this as early as like June or whenever it was. So yeah, we're the visionaries over here. Yes, a big up to you guys for being the visionaries. If Nunes is out, we have to play a totally different style of football, which is staggering. Having Nunes, respectfully, a failed Manchester City midfielder converted to good right back, if he is the key to you being able to play football, well or not, that tells me there's something wrong with the squad building. So, yeah, we do need to definitely, just even if it's just to get another option, we need to get a right back who can contribute offensively as well. Because if Savio ain't playing at right wing, and if Nunes ain't playing, then what even are the options out on the out and out right? We've got Semenyo who can play there, but do you want him to be isolated against his fullback? Probably not. You want him to have some support. Is Kusanov, Semenyo going to be a right-wing option in that case? I don't think so. That sounds a bit stinky. Are we going to have Bernardo Silva play out there? We're going to have Phil Foden play out there. Shirky shunted on the wing. Sure, that could work, but no backup either. Yeah, so I totally agree. Totally agree with you guys on that. Prefer the same lineup as our last game, says Twister. Yes, personally. Or something at least similar anyway. You want to ask questions? I like us to ask questions as soon as possible. This Arsenal side, we're getting fired up here, team. We're getting fired up. This Arsenal team, they don't want it. Yeah, I know that's not analysis, but they don't want it. You saw 10-man Chelsea ask them questions, and they didn't have the answers. They don't like it when you ask those questions. They like it when you secede territory, and they like it when they're allowed to play their own football. Get onto them. I'm sorry to sound like a basic bitch there, but they don't like it. We can deny them a trophy. Yeah? Deny them. Even if they win the Premier League, let's at least deny them of that. Let's get onto them and say, right, we are here to take you on, mate. We see you crumble time and time again. So you're nearly crumble against 10-man Chelsea. Yeah? If 10-man Chelsea can do that to you at your ground, why can't we do it from the off at a neutral ground? Let's get on to you with those central combinations with my Shirky and my Doku and my Bernards. Yeah? Let's do that. Let's do that. Exactly. Why can't we beat them? Why can't we beat them? This analysis I pay for, yeah. Go down the technical route and ask Arsenal questions. Yeah. Yeah, surprising them could work. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Aaron says Rodri Nico be amazing, but it won't happen. It's just a shame, isn't it, Aaron? Because I'm with you. I would like to see it at some point, but we're not wanting to see it. Yeah, and that's fair. They can do it. I just don't think that he's done an especially good job so far. That's all. The Marmoush signing looks very odd in the context of the Semenyo signing. Of course, that remains to be seen. We'll see. Lots of young centre-backs, which is nice. That's good. I think Nico has been a good signing, but if he's only been brought in to be a Rodri understudy, then is it a good signing? Unless we're forward thinking for Rodri leaving, okay, fine. You know my thoughts about the summer signings. I don't think that they've matched up well. Then the Gahey signing made sense, Semenyo signing made sense, but as a collective, I've been a bit confused with some of the squad building, and I've been a bit confused that we've still neglected our two main areas. If Nico wasn't going to be the guy to be the Gundogan replacement, and if Reinders seemingly can't do that, and if we are going to play a more physical style, then why are we going for a Reinders anyway? And we still haven't brought in another right back. These are the positions that we should have sorted in 2023. Is that when it was? The summer of 2023? That's when we should have signed a right back. That's when we should have signed this Gundogan replacement. It's 2026. We still haven't got these players at the club. It's incredible. Yeah, I am surprised. And there's this, I can't remember his name. I think it's called Ballon d'Or Ball. Something like that. Big up to him on Twitter. I don't follow him, but he sometimes crops up on my feed. He's a Milan fan. And I remember speaking to him about Reinders, so big up to him for giving me his thoughts. And he's, I think he's been critical of Pep's usage of Reinders this season. I'm not going to necessarily strictly disagree with him on that, because when I watch Milan, I was with him. You see a player who is getting involved in the deeper phases of play and is able to contribute in that sense. And it's okay that he's not this imperious duel winner, because he's amazing at interceptions and that sort of thing. And so it doesn't necessarily matter that he's not this tackler and a duel winner. It's not necessarily a problem. So his argument was, and I think it's fair, was that Reinders isn't being used correctly. If you look at Reinders' best moments at Milan, they actually came from deeper areas where he was involved in build-up. That was something I discussed in the analysis video. The problem is that Reinders was used deeper. If you think back to the first few weeks of the season, in fact, let's think back even further than that. Club World Cup, Reinders played as a number 6. If I can remember correctly, that midfield 2 was Foden and Reinders, I'm pretty sure. I know it's the Club World Cup, but still. So he was being trialled as a defensive midfielder out and out. And that was when we still had Nico available as well. So we could have played Nico there, but we didn't. We played Reinders there. The game against Wolves, okay, he played a bit more advanced that day. But then the following games, he had a far more deeper role than what we've seen more recently, where he's been playing more offensive. So Pep tried him in the deeper areas, but he wasn't able to do it, basically. Now, is that just because Serie A is a very different pace of league? And is it because the Premier League is far more physically demanding, and that's why Reinders couldn't do it? That's been the problem. So he hasn't been used as I thought he would have been used. But at the same time, have we generated the environment which is suited for him to play deeper? And perhaps the answer to that is no. So it's a tricky one for Ryan. So I am surprised, because I really thought I got sucked in to the Club World Cup and I got sucked into the Wolves performance. I really thought he was going to be a plug and play player and that it would be he and Rodri in like a midfield 2 and a 4-4-2, but he hasn't been able to adapt yet. Hopefully he can do, but right now he's not, in my opinion, been signed for the purposes we were signing him for. I thought we were signing him to be a Gundogan type player. He's actually been signed more so to be more of an attacking midfielder rather than a 6-8 hybrid. He's being played more like an 8-10 type of player. So it's an interesting one. I still have faith in Reinders to make it work, but I don't think we helped him in the summer either, in fairness. We played the same 11 that we used versus Newcastle in the FA Cup. Let me have a look as to what this 11 was, because I do remember that being a very fun game. That was Savio's man of the match game, right? What were we saying that day? There's no Haaland, though. Haaland's going to start, though, isn't he? Haaland is going to start. So, yeah, it was just it was Marmoush up top that day. And, of course, it was Newcastle. He had a great game. I wouldn't be against that, because I did really like that performance, in fairness. I did quite like that. It's an option. Sorry, I know I'm so behind. I just need to catch up on the chat. Sorry. I assume they'll both wear their home kits. Yeah. Nah, I don't think Haaland will leave. Nah. They don't like it up him. Exactly. They don't. Was he my mum? I don't actually know. Maybe not. I thought that Viana was January of 2025. Have I got that wrong? Or was it a collaborative effort? Can anyone confirm that for me? Who was like the final chap in January of 2025? Was it still Cheeky or was it Viana? Let me know. Because actually, I thought it was Viana, but I don't know the answer to that. I suppose that even if it were Cheeky, whatever, then it's still. I think my critique is still valid, in fairness. It was a collab. Drop that collab. That's crazy. Cheeky featuring FT dot Viana. The new single by Cheeky Viana. That would be their collaborative rap thing, yeah. Streets won't forget to Charlie versus Palermo. Sorry, well, I'm catching up and catching up and catching up. I hope that's right, David. I hope that's right, matey. To be fair, I think he got quite badly injured in his first season as well, didn't he? What's a centre-back pairing versus Arsenal? I'd assume it would be Kusanov, Diaz. I'd be very surprised if it weren't. But I guess technically Stones and Ake are options. We know that Gahey isn't an option, and we know that Gvardiol isn't an option. It seems to me that the Real Madrid centre-back pairing was like a trailer for it. So I'd be very surprised if it weren't those two. Marmouche was cheeky. Shirky, Ryan Zainori was cheeky as well. Two young centre-backs were recommendations from Viana. Well, that's interesting. How weird, yeah, because I was quite big on all of those signings individually. I was like, Marmouche, yep, that's cool, okay, interesting. Shirky, yep. Reinders, yep. Aitnori, yep. Young centre-backs, yep. This is how we're going to play. And then we ended up not playing like that. How weird. Cheeky running the show with Viana doing background work. What a cutie. If Rance does come into form, where exactly will his position be as in a deeper player and attacking midfielder? I'd like to think that his position would be as a deeper player, but do we need that if we're signing Anderson? I guess it depends what is the... Assuming Foden stays, and I'm going to assume he does, what's the longer term thing for Foden? Are we going to continue to use him as we have done this season, where, in my opinion, were his best games, where he played slightly deeper, in which case having a Reinders slightly deeper is a bit redundant, or do you do it the reverse way? I think a lot depends on what happens in the summer and the profiles we bring in, because if we do bring in another attack-minded midfielder, and I pray to God we don't, then you'd assume that would put Reinders in a slightly deeper area, whereas if we sign one or two deeper players, then you'd assume that he would just be played as the, as my voice breaks there, goodness me, as the more offensive midfielder. I'd guess. I don't know, though. Stones Kusanov will not surprise me, says Sachin. You never know. Kova to start against Arsenal. Now that would surprise me. Stones to play libero. On the flip side, about settling in, Kusanov has done really well. Yeah, I think overall he's done very well. There's still a lot to work on with Kusanov, which makes sense because he is a young player. Thank you so much, Yanko, for renewing your membership. 9 months. Big up to you, Yanko. And your random footballer is an ex-City player turned wanker, Savic. God, he was... Does anyone remember him in the 11-12 season? God, he was dog shit. Cost us the game at Swansea. Little bitch. Don't like Savic anymore for that tie against him a couple of years ago, where they bullied Foden. Yeah, so I think Kusanov's done really well. Well, no, I'm going to revise that statement. I think Kusanov has done really well for my own standard of what he is as a player. What is my standard of him is that he is someone who isn't yet ready to start consistently for a side wanting to win the Premier League, but he's not far off. And I do think that I can't remember what stream I said it on, but I do think that Kusanov has the highest ceiling of any centre-back in the Premier League right now. I do rate him that highly, for the long term anyway. I do think that some of the praise goes overboard at times, and I do think that there is some valid protection of him, because what the English media did to him was ridiculous. Like, they were just constantly killing him for no reason, and that wasn't fair. I do think, though, that has tipped over into overprotection, and it has tipped into overrating, to the point where some now think that Kusanov is already like one of the best centre-backs in the league and is ready to start every single game right now. And I'm personally not yet in that mindset. I still think that Diaz is a better player. But I do think that the best long-term partnership is Gvardiol and Kusanov, and I do really rate Kusanov very highly, but I do think that he is sometimes a little bit overprotected. For example, in my opinion, he had a great game against Real Madrid overall, but he should have done better for their goal. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. And again, I expect him to make errors of judgment because he is so young. Exactly. He's 22, 23, however old he is. I expect him to make those slight errors in his game because he can't be perfect. But some people do want to treat him as perfect. And that's just setting him up to fail, in fairness. So again, big fan of Kusanov. For the long term, certainly. I still think I'd be very surprised if next season he becomes our main choice at right centre back. I still think that Gvardiol Diaz will be the main pairing next year, but maybe the season after that, perhaps that's when Kusanov becomes the go-to right centre back for us alongside Gvardiol. Perhaps that could be a thing. The good news is there's no rush because he is still a baby. He's very young as a centre back, so he's still got loads of time to refine his defensive work. And I do think it does need refinement, which makes sense because he is a very young defender who sometimes makes errors of judgment. And right now, I think the way that I described it in the analysis video was, I suspect that simply twatting into your opponent isn't going to cut it in the Premier League. And we have seen that this season. For example, against Solanke, he tried to twat into him. Solanke used his own body and momentum against him, and he ends up scoring a really good goal. So it's just about refining it, but that's fine because we have time. He's got like another 10 years on his side, so it's not a problem for me. Again, a big fan of Kusanov. I just don't think that he is as good as Ruben Diaz right now. That's all. But maybe not next season. No, maybe next season he can start, I don't know, like 15 games in the Premier League, and then maybe the season after he can start 25 and become like the main option there. That could be really good. So I'm a big fan of his potential for sure, and indeed what he is now. Yeah, thank you so much, Yanko, for renewing your membership. Thoughts on signing Tonali? I think it would be a fine signing. It just doesn't move me. I'm just not moved by the signing. That's all. I'm just not moved by it. That's exactly right, Jack. He has time on his hand, 100%. Exactly. Yeah, fuck Savic for that. Fuck that. That's what it is, Miami. Yeah, because if you look at all the players individually, whoever was involved in them or not, individually, I think all the players are really good. I think like they're amazing signings on an individual level. I think you and I are in alignment here, Miami. My issue has been, are they cohesive? Is there a chemistry with all of them? And that has been and that's what I've been struggling with this entire season. So yeah, this is what I see as well. I do think this is the ultimate pairing. Perhaps Sachin, perhaps I do think he's also got a very high ceiling. That's why I was very careful with my words. I said in the Premier League. And he's technically playing in La Liga, even though he's a Premier League player, but But I do agree with you, he's also got a very high ceiling for sure. For sure. Ceiling, though, is a thing. They aren't linear. They're very hard to predict. Some players stop developing when you think they're about to explode, etc., etc. So we'll have to see, and hopefully they can both become excellent, because I think as an even longer term pairing, that could be even nicer. Who knows? Do I think another centre-back in the summer is needed, or will Hayes be enough? I don't think we'll sign a centre-back. Will we? Because our starting centre-backs will have Diaz, Gvardiol, Kusanov, Gehi. That's 4 starting centre-backs, isn't it? Which is quite a lot. Do you sign another starting centre-back? I mean, if you do, you are killing Vitor Hayes, surely, because it looks like none of these players are leaving anytime soon. So I probably wouldn't sign like a senior centre-back or anything. Like, if we can find someone in the mold of an Akanji who is like more of a rotational vibe but can also fill in other positions, then maybe. But outside of that, I don't think that we necessarily need to pursue another signing. If that's again, long-term plan, because I think they balance each other out really nicely with. And by the way, this is the thing about Kusanov, and I will back him a lot here. The idea that Kusanov is this no-nonsense, bad on the ball, but traditional centre-back is wrong. Kusanov's actually very good on the ball. He is better than... I was going to say he's better than Gahey, but I actually don't think that. He's nearly... I would say he's actually not that far off Gahey in respect of his on-ball ability. Kusanov is very good on that, so that could be a really good pairing to... Gvardia, who is the best on the planet, Kusanov, who is also good now and could become excellent, but Gvardio's got the more passive defending style, Kusanov the more aggressive defending style. So I think, partnerships make centre-back partnerships. That's not the phrase, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. A centre-back partnership can be greater than the sum of its parts. Hello, Callum. How are you, mate? Kusanov to eclipse company in 5 years. No, that's not going to happen. No, that won't happen. He would have to do a lot across the next 10 years to get close to what company achieved for City and what he was as a player. Short term, there could be a thing. Yes, absolutely. And Gahey will play a lot of football right centre-back. I'm sure about that. Opta says we have a 23% chance to win Arsenal, 56%. The 23% is quite low. That's quite low. Yeah. I don't know if right winger is going to be the thing. I think right back definitely. If you were here for the watch-along yesterday, big up to you. Liverpool Galatasaray, which turned into Spurs Atleti, which turned into story time with Nobbins. The problem with the right winger market is that this was the conclusion that we reached. The problem with the right winger market is the same as the problem with the right back market. The elite players who are already in existence, you're not going to get them. You're not going to be able to get Elise. You're not going to be able to get Saka. You're not going to be able to get Yamal. They're already at these established elite clubs, so you're not going to be able to get them out of there. There are no elite players that I can think of anyway that are left-footed right wingers, because that's what we would want. There are none at... I'm sorry if I'm insulting these clubs, but a club like a Dortmund, or a club like a Fulham, or a club like a Bournemouth, or a club like a I don't even know what. That sort of level where they aren't quite at the absolute highest level, but it's the one below that. You know what I mean? Hopefully you guys know what sort of clubs I'm talking about. The ones, the cherry-pickable clubs. And that sounds incredibly arrogant, and it is. But this is we know that big clubs act with arrogance. There are no elite right wingers that I can think of that are left-footed at cherry-pickable clubs. They're all at... The cherry has been picked already by these clubs. Or they were from the academy. Frankfurt, yeah, exactly, Pete. Yeah, that's a good answer. Yeah, Sevilla, that's a good answer. Yeah, exactly. They don't exist, I can think of anyway. So your options are you sign a right winger who is like good, maybe is great, but they're not going to get any better, and they're certainly not going to become elite. And do you want to do that? Because is that okay? It might improve the floor of the squad, but is it really going to improve the ceiling that much? No. Versus, do you try to get the next Yamal? Do you try to get the next Elise? Do you try to get the next whoever it may be? Do you try to get the next Kyle Walker? Blah 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 blah. So the only way you can realistically do that is by getting a player who isn't world-class right now, but maybe they could become that. And I think that's what we did. That's what we have done with Savio, seemingly. So I don't think we'll go for a right winger based on that, because we already have a left-footed right winger in Savio who is young and could become potentially elite, maybe. I don't think, though, there is an elite player out there that is available. Again, people will say Elise. He's not available. He's not going to leave Bayern. He's only been there for 2 years. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's a pipe dream. It's never going to happen. Yamal is never going to happen. In the same way that someone like Pedri is never going to happen. So you do, because the right back and right wing market is so light in that sense of ready-made elite players, you sort of have to go for a younger option who you can perhaps develop into that player. So this is perhaps why we are linked with young right backs like Reed, like Fernandez, like Costa, even Coyote. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Even he's a young right back as well. So that's my take on the whole right wing, right back situation. You were robbed of a Ronaldo. Oh, God. Thank you so much, MCFC, for the very generous super chat. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much. I would try to recreate that for you. How do I... Oh, sorry about that. I should have done that. Can we get Big W? It's a very big super chat. Thank you so much. Let's just, can I do that? I can't do it. Sorry. I can't test it as a trigger. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you, mate. We'll come to your super chat in a second. There's your printed out Nobbins. Oh, gosh. Oh, you know what I mean, though, chat? The vibe of it. What do you mean? It's a Game Boy printer. What do you mean, what's the quality? Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Hello, hello, hello? What does this mean, Jeff? Can someone please explain? I see this sometimes in my chat, and I don't get what it means. So no to project players. What does that actually mean, though? Because there is no elite, ready-made right winger who's left-footed out there. So if you do want to sign a right winger, or a right back, let's say right back as well, just because we know we need a right back, who is the elite, world-class right back, who isn't injury-prone, that we can go out now and sign right now? Who is this player at right back? I'm willing to accept they exist, but who is this elite, ready-made right back who exists? Or right winger who also exists? Who's a left-footed right winger? If you can name them for me, again, elite, world-class, ready to go right now. Because you can't say Elise, and you can't say Yamal, because they ain't leaving Barcelona, and they ain't leaving Bayern Munich. So who are the players? Who is this left-footed right winger who's going to be able to be a touchline winger, and who is going to be this right back who is very good offensively and can help us there? Rodrigo right wing. Brother, you have named a left winger who is right-footed, and I asked for a right winger who is left-footed. You've given me the opposite of that, sir. Hello? Who are the players? Just like give me a couple of names, because I don't know who they are. Educate me. I don't know who they are. Salah. This is just... Thank you so much, MCFC. Incredibly generous super chat. Hypothetically, if both Rodri and Bernardo go, who do you think we should bring in alongside Anderson? Also, if Pep leaves, who do you think is the best manager to take over that's realistic? Not Company. Why can't I have Company? Let me have him. I honestly don't know. I'm not a big fan of these Enzo Maresca links, personally. I'm not a big fan of these Enzo Maresca links. Who else? I don't know. I like the idea of Nagelsmann, but is he still the Germany manager? I don't think he's going to come to the Premier League. That's not how I spell Nagelsmann. He is indeed the Germany manager. So I don't know RE managers. As for players, I don't know if you need... Well, if Rodri goes, then I guess you just promote Nico to the main DM and then bring it back. I honestly don't know. I actually don't know. You probably go for... Bring me Bruno G. Now, the Bruno G time's over. I don't know, man. You probably try to go for someone that we were linked with but didn't end up getting. So someone like Bruno or someone like João Neves or someone like that. I don't know. Big up to you, mate. Thank you so much for the super chats. Right, guys. Where are all these players? Yeah, Rodrigo is a right-footed left winger. Echeverry, the number 10. Okay. He isn't a right winger. He isn't. He doesn't want to play there either. And again, he's right-footed. Nico Williams to complete the Nico trio. What? Fireball and shush, mate. Diamandi, the teenager. Isn't he a project? Isn't Diamandi a teenager? Am I being stupid? Diamandi's a child, right? Why isn't that a project? I don't think I understand the argument. Are we saying that Diamandi is world class right now? Is that what we're saying? Is that the argument? Is he the one? Is he? Or is he also actually a project who probably would need a lot of work? He is a baby. Right. I don't think I understand the arguments then. I don't think I get it. Nah, fuck Fabregas. I don't like that guy. I think he's a prick. Make Nunez a right back. Wait, what? Mahrez, Peter, shut up. Why are you upsetting me like this? Klein, thank you so much, mate, for following. Yeah, Diamandi is a baby. Shall we just double check our audios? Yan Diamandi, Ivorian footballer. Yan Diamandi is born 2006. Oh, he's 20 then. Oh no, when's his date of birth? No, he is 19. Okay. Yes, he's 19 and has played... What? A full season. No, sorry. This is his first full season in the top flight. This is just... I'm not having to go at the player, but to confirm, this is the elite, world-class, absolutely ready-to-go player right now. I mean, he might be, absolutely. But this, to me, seems like a bit of a project player, doesn't it? This isn't the finished article. This is a player who's sure, I hope so anyway, at 19, hopefully hasn't got close to their peak. This is the definition of a project, to my eye. Do we have any RB Leipzig experts in the chat? Let me know. Let me know. Wait. I thought he was both-footed. I'm being stupid. What's Transfermarkt saying? I thought he was both-footed, TBH. Won't lie to you. Transfermarkt, are you letting me down, mate? You always tell me what foot a player is. Why are you not telling me? Oh, there he goes, right-footed. He is right-footed. Transfermarkt normally says both. So, you know, earlier when I said name me the elite world-class right winger who is left-footed, you guys recommended me fucking Rodrigo, the right-footed left winger, and Diamandi, the 19-year-old right footer. See what I mean? That just proves my point even more so, I suppose. So big up to my brain. Yeah? Big up to me. Rob, yeah, bring him there. Oh, this has been such an off-topic tangent stream. Like, I feel like we've barely even spoken about the cup final on Sunday. But you know what? We've been speaking for an hour and 10 minutes. And I feel like only 10 minutes of that was actually dedicated to the cup final. So big up to us for, you know, just having a chat. Funny. That's good. I love these streams where it's like, you know, it's a thing. There is none. Exactly. That's what I mean then, Mario. That's exactly what I mean. So when people say no to projects, I'm asking, but practically what does that mean? Because if these players don't exist, then surely the only option is to go for more of a project player. Now, project player does not mean shit right now. You can still have a project player who's good now, but could become world class. I don't think anyone's suggesting that City sign a right back who is 12 years old and is dog shit, but maybe they'll be good one day. I don't think anyone's making that argument. But again, the right wing dilemma, the left-footed right wing dilemma anyway, if I want to be really specific, and we know that's what Pep would want, is very similar to the right back dilemma also, seemingly. As for the levels that we want to get. So I'm happy with going for a younger option at right back, because I think it's our only viable option. Excuse me. More of a Dortmund enthusiast. Love that from you, Peter. You and Jack will get on well. Yes, let's convert Jack Grealish. Shall we do it? I'm sure he's lovely. I know, absolutely. I am sure he's lovely. There's no doubt about it. I would say that he is a project player, though, if we do want to have that discussion. I'm going to El Gato Negro tomorrow, guys, so big up to me. Just had my booking reminder. Absolute Scenes, one of my favourite restaurants. I haven't been in minutes, though. I haven't been in time. Very excited. Yeah, fair. You know what? You got me. You bloody got me. You bloody got me, yeah? Yeah? Crazy. Realistic prediction for the final. Guys, get your score predictions in. What we saying? I think we've got a really good chance of winning. I accept that we aren't the favourites. I do accept that. But I don't accept that it's definitely Arsenal are going to win. And yeah, I accept that Arsenal have been better than us this season. And I accept that they might end up winning the Premier League and the Champions League. Blah, 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 blah. I think we can win this game. I'm going to predict a win because I need us to win something this season, and I do think that we can play well. I'm going to go for 2-1. I'm going to go for 2-1, personally. That's what I'm going to say. It's going to be a hard-fought, nasty game. It's going to be gritty, and it might not be fun to watch. What I am going to need your help with, team, is what should the drinking rules be? Depending on how merry I get on Saturday night, we will be doing a drinking game. So we need to think of some rules. That's what we need to do. Now we have the basic rules, you know, take a drink for every corner, free kick, goal kick, blah, 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 blah. But a foul, 2 drinks for a yellow, shot for a red, shot for a goal, shot for a shootout, blah, 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 blah. But we always throw in some fun ones. So, for example, you know, take a drink every single time Doku does his fullback, or every time Doku does his shimmy, something like that. Or, you know, take a drink every single time Gabriel does a dive. Or every time Raya time wastes. Something like that. So, we need to have a conversation about what There will be a watch along. There'll be a drunk watch along, a drinking game watch along. We do need to have a think and chat about what are the rules going to be. You guys don't have to take part, of course. Happy Eid, big up to Eid, but I will be doing it. Absolutely. What are we saying? We need more children's chat. Brilliant. Get Jacob Murphy. Amazing. Why have we got an Evil Nunez in the chat? What is this? What is going on? What is occurring? What is happening? 2-0 City, 2-0 City. Oh, sorry, that's 2-0 Arsenal. Oh, God. 5-0 City, amazing. 2-1. 15-0, amazing. 3-1. No, it is overused and subjective. Absolutely, Thunder Road. 6-0, 2-1, 3-1 L. Oh, God. Realistic 3-1 Arsenal. 1-0 City to win on pens is realistic. It could happen. I don't predict losses out here. I don't predict losses. I predict draws. I don't want to predict losses, though, because that'll upset me. That'll upset me if I do that. Unrealistic 2-1 win. If we lose, get wasted. Yeah, there will be a watch along. There'll be a drinking game watch along. 1 pass is 1 liter of the stuff. No fucking way. I was drinking wine and ouzo that day. That was so stupid of me. I can't believe I did that. Mrs. Nobbins was very angry with me. Rightly so. I was very stupid. Every time they show Pep, mate, oh, that Pep cam was frustrating. That was frustrating viewing. A shot for every haul and miss. Oh my God. Someone asked about wingers. That's why. Take a shot for every mention of the Kusanov debut error. For every Shirky created chance, take a shot. It's Fireball whiskey, by the way, guys. I think it's 33%. It's quite strong. Nunes and Evil Nunes is yin and yang. I love that. For every Kusanov tackle / possession gain, take a shot. Guys, it's a very strong, shotting beverage. I'll be drinking normal beer. Like, I've got some Coronas and I've ordered some Moretti. And I'll be having some Fireball whiskey for the shotting one as well. But it's a strong one. It's not like the last time where we did Bailey's. Now it's like a really weak drink. This is quite a strong one. We do already have a drink for every corner. Yep, that is a thing. You'll take part. Love that from you, Jack. Shot for a show for camp. Yes. Get in. Maybe we should just do, like, maybe not a shot for every... Just like, because there's some good suggestions here. Every single time a player does a cliche, so something that you associate with them. So every time, like, Doku does a shimmy, or Kusanov does a move man, or every time, whatever, that sort of thing. There will, last time, and maybe this is the reason why I got so drunk in the... What was the watch along where City were involved? It was FA Cup last year, I think it was. I introduced viewer things, so viewers could make me drink by doing super chats and doing memberships and gifts and whatnot. So they will also be up for grabs. So if you'd like to support your channel and get Nobbins wasted, there will be audience interactions in that via super chats, memberships, Twitch subs, etc. So that's also going to be a thing. Kev, mate, what is this? I will die. I will literally die, bro. What? Ah, whoever's turned comments off. Yeah, you see? Yeah, exactly. Then we'll just sit here in silence. Oh dear. Every time Doc across the ball with that aimer from City touching it. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And there will be the classic go-to rules as well from past times. In fact, I might go back and look at the FA Cup stream and from last season and see what we ended up doing, because I think that worked out quite well in the end. I got to a good level of drunk, but not over the top where I felt ill. So I'll try to look at that. We've got 10 minutes left, guys, and then we'll wrap it up. What else do we want to talk about in the final 10 minutes? Do you want to like talk about, like, you know, what the actual start... I mean, we've already spoken about the starting 11, in fairness. I think that if you want me to say what a prediction, I would like to predict the team that we saw against Madrid, but probably just O'Reilly instead of Reinders. And I'm going to hope that Pep goes for attack rather than trying to win a physical battle necessarily. So that's what I'm gonna do. Every Pep water sip is a shot sip. Need something for a Saka limp. That might be fit down your drink. How about that? Down your drink if that happens. Shot for every kickoff. You know what? I don't dislike that, actually. Because there's not going to be... Because we do a shot for a goal anyway, so it's not there's not that many kickoffs in a game unless there's like a million goals. So yeah, I like that one. We'll add that. Just Real Madrid voodoo, isn't it, Arish? That's all it is. That's all it is. It made me happy if Gabriel scores an own goal and City win. That'd be very cute. Win it to Tahiti. That'd be very nice. Shot when Arsenal play for a corner instead of crossing or shooting. Oh dear. Every bad touch. Jesus. I kind of want to join the game, but it's a bit sad to play a drinking game alone. I mean, Yanko, you're not alone. You're with me, mate. It's up to you. You don't have to. There's no pressure to join. I will be doing it, and if you guys want to play along, you can do. It's not necessarily advised, because if it's a high-scoring game, then who knows what happens? It'll kick off. You never know, though. You never know. Oh yeah, I saw Trent not being called up. Big balls call by Tuchel. Probably the wrong call, but I get it. I get it. He just doesn't want that from his right back. He wants more of a right back who's more of a defender. So I get it. I'm not necessarily against it. I do understand the reluctance to want to include him because he is a bit of a liability. Even though he is wonderful going forward, he is that bit of a liability. Yeah, do not drink and drive. Absolutely. Wise words from Fireborn, as always. Wise words. Every touch from Haaland. True fans drink during all the games. TP Link, love that. Yeah, exactly. Every time we go around dives. If you had to predict a surprise in the 11, what would it be? A surprise? Ooh. A surprise would be like Foden starting or something. But I really don't think that he will. I really don't think he will. But that would be a surprise if he did start. So maybe a slightly more realistic surprise. No, Haaland will play. I'd be more surprised at Haaland not starting than Foden starting. Yeah. Yeah. Listen to Thunder Road, guys. Get the likes up. I want 115. You know the drill. You know the drill by now. If you don't know me by now. Like the video. Oh! Ultimate, how could you? Thank you, Ultimate, for nutting me. It's very kind of you. Oh, that's so good. Do you notice how my face goes from like happy to sad when I get nutted, guys? What a beautiful piece of art that was. Is it possible to beat Arsenal with technicality rather than physicality? I hope so. I hope so, because I think that's what we need to try to rely on. That's fairs. I won't advocate that, but why do I not want Foden to be picked for England? I just don't think lots of England fans deserve him, to be honest. What if you dislike, you get banned. You get automatically banned. That's what happens. Yeah. What if I go 1 and 3? I've definitely had more than those. I've definitely had more than 4 drinking games. Maybe they're just the ones you've watched Ultimate, though, to be fair. Because I mean, I did 2 I did the Champions League final, and I cried because I was so drunk and upset when I saw Aguero crying. I cried at the Euros final because I was so drunk and I couldn't handle the pressure. What other finals have we done? We've done loads, in fairness. I think thereafter we did basically every single FA Cup and Champions League final. Three corners on Sunday. Love that. Now Trafford's definitely starting. I mean, Pep's already confirmed it, but even if Pep didn't confirm it, I knew Trafford was going to start because he's the cup goalkeeper. So he was always gonna start. And I think Kepa will probably start as well because he's been playing in the cups for them as well. So I'd be very, very surprised if Raya started for Arsenal as well. So it should be the two cup goalkeepers. I have been known to cry when I'm drunk because I'm an emotional drunk. So sometimes when I'm out with my friends and I'm just having a good time, I just get a bit. I'm just like, oh, guys, I'm so happy. I just love you all. I'm just me, but a bit more when I'm drunk. That's all. That's what you really want to be when you're tipsy / drunk. These people who get like angry and aggressive when they're drunk, they're fucking weird because that just tells me what you probably are as a person. Really, like the people who get nasty or aggressive or rude or angry. It's very weird or confrontational. What are you doing, you little weirdo? Little weirdo. Weird. Yeah, I nearly did bicycle. I nearly did. I think it was because it was more like just like shock and relief, and there was so many emotions going on. I hug my friends all the time. Of course I do. You get me. You get me. Do you think Raya will start? Hasn't Kepa started all their cup games though? That's exactly it, Spartacus. Yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you for the bits, Ultimate. Love that from you. Thank you so much for your support. Save those for Sunday, mate, Ultimate, because bits and subs and gifting whatnot will make me drink. You get flirty. Love that from you, Bicycle. Love that. I do that as well. I just say, I love you. I love you. Oh, that's not in a flirty way. It's more like in an endearing way. I flirt with my friends all the time because it's funny to do. It's just a cute thing to do, isn't it? I am an emotional little boy. Definitely am. I just love my friends. I just love my friends, and I love seeing my friends. I just like them a lot, I like friends. They're good, aren't they? Friends are good. Friends are fun. Family and friends. That's what life is for me. It's family and friends. You guys are all my friends. You guys are all my online friends, for real, for real. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap up today's show? Yeah, Adrian. Yeah. That's a good point. It's the two best teams. Yeah, for sure. It's been weird. Look, now I do think some people do overrate Neymar, but some of the shit that they were saying was a little bit insane, wasn't it? Like Mane's better, and all that. So I can't remember what other names they said. The Mane one sticks in the mind because that was just beyond insane. Yeah, I don't know. I do like Neymar. As I say, I do think he's a little bit overrated by some people, but now he's becoming way underrated. Clearly, the PSG move did not help him. The PSG move did not help him, unfortunately. And I'm gonna say that I was one of those people as well. He did go down in my estimation by going to PSG as well. In fairness, I am one of those people because it's like you're achieving all this stuff in Paris, and let's be honest, rightly or wrongly, and I probably think rightly, unless you win the Champions League, no one really cares how many domestic cups PSG win. So, and obviously they were not a very good side in the Champions League at that stage. So it's a tricky one for him, and injuries didn't help him. Of course, I think he got absolutely battered in League, which is a very physical league. So probably an error in hindsight, and probably an error just at the time as well. How long on average am I sad when City lose a game? I've got it down loads now. So I used to ruin my week when I was very young. Nowadays, I can basically get over it like a few minutes after the final whistle is blown. It normally, what's frustrating is because obviously I'm involved in social media. It's normally when I go online and I'm normally more angry at the takes I see from people rather than the result or the outcome, because it's just I don't know. I don't know why that affects me more. It's probably because I just look at it. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's just stupid. Pick up friends and family, exactly. Thunder Road, chill. You should do a separate chill stream in the international break, says Marky. If you want more chill streams, to be honest, that is literally what the Twitch is. We end up like normally playing a game and chilling and chatting at the same time. So if you do like the chill streams, then Twitch is the place for you. Anyway, guys, 90 minutes. There we go. Wait, what's that, Irish? I'm 16 right now, and it ruins at least one day for me, just in a bad mood. And the final thing to say, I have said this before. It's totally fine for you to feel however you want to feel after a game, because no one should tell you what's the right way to feel, because that's weird, isn't it? So if you want to feel happy, if you want to feel sad for like a week or that sort of thing, I might think it's a bit weird to be upset for like a whole month or whatever over results, but that's of course your prerogative and no one should be like shaming you for it. However, it's a different conversation if it's negatively impacting those around you. So if City lose a game, and so here's an example. City lose a game on Saturday at 3 o'clock, whatever. I do my content on it, and I end up post-mortem ends at like 7 o'clock, whatever, that sort of thing. So we've spoken about the game, blah, 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 blah. I've got a date night at 8 p.m. with Mrs. Nobbins that we've been looking forward to all week. Can you imagine how much of a little bitch I would have to be as a human being to let a City result ruin an evening with my beloved, and her to feel like she's walking on eggshells because a bunch of overpaid athletes running around on some grass failed to kick a ball into the back of the net enough times. That's weird. That's when it does become weird. So as long as you don't let it negatively impact those around you, like your family and friends, then you can feel however you want to feel, but just don't let it impact all that stuff. That's some life advice from LNobbins. That's what the L stands for in LNobbins. Life. Wise words, wise words. Potentially, who knows? Socrates, he's gonna be running after his money, yeah? That's not the saying. I'm giving him a run for his money. That's the saying I'm after. Thank you guys so much for watching. Actually, no, don't go anywhere because I haven't done the Hall of Fame yet. I need to do that first of all. I need to do that. Fake fan. Shut up. I'm just going to let the Hall of Fame go, and I'm going to wrap it up here. If you want to support your boy, the best way to do that directly is to sign up to the YouTube membership or the Patreon. The YouTube membership link is provided there for you. Big up to all of my beautiful supporters. They're going to pass by on the stream in a second. My mood drops to the max when they lose a game that's first. What do you think about people saying Bernardo shouldn't start? Nah, he'll start. And he should start as well. Nuts and yoga calms you. Brilliant. Peaky Blinders or Breaking Bad? I preferred Breaking Bad. I do think both are overrated, though. Thunder Road, mate. Chill. Chill. I do not do yoga. Are you ready for Haaland versus Holland next week? Wait, what? I don't know what that means. Is that Haaland versus Hoyland or something? Or is he just playing the Netherlands? I don't know. Disappointing, Fairs. Formation for the final. Hopefully a 2-3-5. Hopefully a 2-2-3-5. But we'll see. Big up to all of these people. Look at you guys. If you sign up, I say nice things about you. And you get put into the Hall of Fame. Thank you for following the channel, Ahmed. Love that from you. I'll see you guys. There'll be a preview tomorrow. Actually, there'll be a tactical preview out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. A new series to watch. Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I'm watching it right now. And then obviously there'll be a drunk watch along on Sunday. So those are the two next bits of content coming out on the channel. Big up to you. Big up to your mothers. Happy Eid. Eid Mubarak. I'll catch you guys next time.